Hi everyone, welcome back to Joy's Creative Finger. Today we're looking at a baby hospital situated right here. It's next to the main hospital in my town that I built about 8 months ago. There isn't a baby ward, so I created a second hospital for babies right next to it. So it's like my hospital street. You know, it makes sense. Most of the hospitals I've been to have different departments in different buildings. It's not all in one building. However, on Hospital Street, I have my daycare center, so perhaps that should be a dentist or something, but who knows. Anyway, I'm going to give you a quick glance at the main hospital here. There's a full tour and live build for this hospital on my channel, but the most highlighted comment was that I didn't have a baby ward. I have the charity shop and the restaurant for staff and patients right here. I have the kids ward, boys on the left, girls on the right in different cubicles. This is the main operating theatres, and this is a general ward for all kinds of illnesses. Now this is the entrance to the hospital with a triage cubicles, and downstairs we have staff offices and the laboratory and the kitchen and all those bits and bobs. Now we've completed the daycare center event, and I've decided to make use of most of the items that we got from that event to create this hospital, which is appropriately situated next to the main hospital. I wish we had some kind of an ambulance, but no, we don't. And I focused more on the front of the build to give it some kind of character. On the side there isn't that much, and at the back we have a clear view of the lifts and the access ways to the different floors in this build. Now in most hospitals anyway, when you go around the back, there is nothing to write home about. It's just pipes and all kinds of structures behind that are not glamorous in any way at all. However, in Sims FreePlay you have to make an effort, and you have to make it appealing when you look at it. So this is what I decided to do, just to the front of the building, and not go any bigger in the build, since it's just a ward for pregnant women and babies, and you know, maybe the guests who come to see them while they're having their children. Now this is the entrance to the build, and once you come through these glass doors, we have a restroom to the right here and another restroom to the left over here, just for people who are coming in and sitting in the waiting area. Once you come past this area, you can see that it's a courtyard in some way. Once you come through to these glass doors, there is a set of staircases that go right down to the basement, and then doors on either side to different parts of the ground floor. Now this is the main waiting room where pregnant women would sit down with their partners, their husbands, their friends or family, waiting to see a gynecologist. And if they came in with little kids, they would play with that kitchen unit in the corner there, and maybe other kinds of toys, but I thought I'd just place that there. Now I have some TVs on the wall where they would be kept company, because there sometimes is quite a long waiting period before you are seen. And this is the main reception where you check in if you're going up to see perhaps your wife, and they would let you in through those doors up through the elevator situated in the corner there. Now that's what we have on that side, and as you come across past those staircases, we have a special area where some of the ladies could be called through to be seen by a gynecologist, to be checked over, and to, you know, see what's going on, maybe take a urine sample because they're going into early labor. Not everyone who visits a maternity clinic is actually ready to have a baby, basically. So they're in loose clothing, and as you know, we don't have pregnant Sims in Sims FreePlay, but what I've done is just dress them up in a way that presumably they might be maybe 3 or 4 months pregnant, so we can't actually see it yet because they've got perfect bodies. Anyway, once you come in through these curtains, there is a privacy, mobile privacy screen there. So you just walk in first, and then make yourself, you know, announce yourself before you walk in, because she might be getting changed before getting up on that bed. Now when you come through this corridor, we get through to the main senior consultant's office. He's the main guy who would make the decisions as to whether you're having a C-section, a water birth, or maybe a natural birth for that matter. He would basically be your go-to guy. Should there be any problems at all, he would make the decisions about the best possible option to take in having a safe delivery. Now he has a large clock on the wall. He has access to the main reception office here. Maybe he'll toss a file and say send this person in, and then round the back here he has access to go upstairs to the wards. And then of course when he comes out through this door, he also has access to go downstairs to the labs and so on and so forth. So there are 3 staircases there that all go down to the basement. Now this lift here is also the lift that is the access way for the ambulance. So there are 3 doors out back here at the back of the building where the ambulance can quickly rush in and take patients up to either the ward, but I would think if you're coming in with an ambulance, then you're going straight up to the OR. Anyway, so this is what we have on the ground floor for this baby hospital. So we're going to go up this lift, and so say for instance you've checked in and you're ready to have a baby. So up you go, and you are given a room or a cubicle corner. There are hospitals that have separate rooms as well, but I didn't do that in this case. Once again, I would have had to go say about 3-4 blocks higher, and maybe it becomes a 5-story build, which is not really necessary. Anyway, what you see here is I've created a birth center. Now, each woman comes in with the idea that they will have their baby in water. I'm sure most of you heard about that. It's a very relaxing way to have a child without the help of any kind of medication. It's pure and it's natural, and this matron here would see to it that you have the best experience having your baby. Now this lady here, for instance, hasn't had her baby yet, but she's been admitted and waiting for when the action starts. So I decided to place these tubs in here as the idea for the center where they go in and basically get down to business. I thought it was a good idea because when I was even having a baby, that was my idea. I thought, you know what, I'm going to make use of the birth center. It's very relaxing, the music is fabulous, and women just pop them out in the water. But it was very far from what I thought was going to happen in the worst possible way. So I can dream on anyway. But here we have a lady who's already had a baby, and she can still come in here and dip in maybe salt water to help the cuts and the tears, and basically really heal in this water as it stands. So yeah, that's the idea I had for this space. However, if they are unable to have the child as planned in this way, and there's a complication, perhaps the baby's cord got strung around the neck, and crazy things happen, then of course she will be taken up to the operating theater to have her baby the conventional way, and then even still, if it's that bad, she would have to have a C-section where she's cut open and the baby is delivered. She has some guests here who've come to visit her and have a look at the new baby, and they're all very happy about what's happened and about the new arrival. I have another lady in here who's already had a baby as well. She is going to give her baby a diaper change, which happens a lot in these wards. It's a regular occurrence. So yeah, this is the teen beds, as you can see, but they have dolls on them. And I remember when I was in hospital and I had my daughter, there were these little companies that came around and handed out little toys and things and items and promotional material, to the new mums. So I thought this was perfect because I didn't want to use the green beds and I didn't want to use the double beds either. So this was perfect, and since it's only females that actually do get admitted, I didn't mind the soft peachy pink blankets at the foot of the bed with the dolls that serve as the toys handed out by these little companies. So that's the changing station there. I felt I'd put it around that way. It looks perfect with the lights hanging down so you can really see what you're doing. And I'm just going to get this lady to go back and relax, because mums who have just had babies need a lot of rest. And very soon it'll be visiting hours over. So now we're going to go up either of these elevators to the operating theatre. So this one in the middle comes from downstairs, and this one here goes up to the operating theatre. Once you come through, this is where the surgeons would, get really scrubbed and changed. And of course, if we had completed the laundry event, I would have placed those, units with clothes in them in this area. That would be perfect. But here they are going through the file of the patient that's due to come up, and that's the screen up there that would give them a better view of what they're doing, and there are some computers back here for them to log any complications that happened during the procedure. So yeah, once you come out from the theatre and you've had your baby, they wheel you out through this door here and bring you around into the recovery ward. This is where they monitor and, stabilize patients who have just been, under the anesthetic. And once they are stable enough and they know that they're not going to go into any further complications as a result of having been operated on, then they'll be moved back to the main ward. The nurse who stays at the station has taken the baby away to go and care for it because the mum needs a lot of help right now. And round about here we have a bathroom for the patients who stay in recovery, and you can be in recovery for a couple of days depending on how you're doing. So yeah, that's entirely what I have upstairs. I could have put a door out onto this patio, and it would have served as the platform where the air ambulance would have touched down to bring patients into the OR. But that's up to you. If you choose to build this, then you could do that if you wanted to. And little Miss Arrival here is now happy and content and clean. Now we're going to go down to the basement, which is the last part of this build and the last part of this tour, and it leads through to the restaurant where patients, guests would come and sit down and eat, and even the staff in the hospital. I've actually been in hospitals and gone down to eat in some of these places, and I've seen, doctors eating as well. This coffee machine comes from the Party Time event house. That's one at the end. It's just the one in the house, so that's how you get it. And this is the main kitchen where all the great food is cooked and prepared for the hospital patients. So yeah, it's right beside the restaurant. That makes sense. The restrooms are over here. Say to the left is men and to the right is women. But yeah, I chose to put it together this way downstairs. So we have these restrooms here and the couple into the entrance for, guests. Now there are some security doors on both sides of the staircase here and here. Now random people can't just walk in or wander through. You have to have a staff pass to come in and gain access to the laboratory here. I have a couple of phlebotomists working away with the patient samples, and there are some microscopic lights under which they can look at the blood samples closer. This laundry room is waiting for that laundry event. Those washing machines are going to get going in there. Now across the way we have the MRI room where I have a patient in the machine getting some images taken from within her body that will reflect on the screen behind her and onto the computer screen where the radiologist will derive some conclusions. Those Party Time event lights are brilliant for this feature, and I thought I'd put something together like that. Although I think the radiologist has to step out while this is happening. Anyway, this is the morgue. I have a filing system situated by the staff member here where there would be details of time of death, name of the deceased, and so on. And through this door takes you into where the body is cleaned and autopsies are being performed, sadly. And then the deceased is put into this room where they are tagged and then pushed into the freezers. These smoke machines I felt would work brilliantly in this space. They are from the Party Time event as well. And that's the complete basement for this baby hospital. And I hope it's compensated for the fact that the main hospital didn't have a baby ward. This is obviously my favorite room, the MRI room, simply because I was able to create something that was close enough to an X-ray situation taking place. And I also like the laboratory as well, because I was able to use different items in the game to create something else that doesn't really exist. So that sort of gives me a buzz. Anyway, the other room that I do like as a favorite is the birthing center. I think that's really something that I was happy to put together. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day. See you again soon. Bye.